Gloria Dei Lutheran Church, a nurturing community and a place of belonging.
Here you go home, you don't go to church.
Just everyone here is really nice and I really enjoy coming here.
It's tolerance, it's acceptance, it's okay to be different, and yet there's one thing that calls us together, which is our faith in God.
God is a living part of our congregation.
It's really fun.
We're like a family, but we're a church family.
Everyone here is open and welcoming.
People have come and gone, but the feeling of welcoming and the way that people are treated and the friendships that we've created here go on and on.
There's a place for everybody.
A healing and serving fellowship.
There's just so many people willing to help, and it's amazing.
And when people come from the outside, they see that joy. They see that generosity. They see the intensity of people's commitment, and that welcomes people and makes them realize that church isn't just 1 hour on Sunday morning. It's what we do.
A church committed to growth.
We're such an intergenerational church, so you get wise expertise from like our older members as well as the little ones running around.
I'm a big fan of 5 generations. If your ministry dwindles to 1 or 2 generations, then it's go time to make that different, and that's a risk.
A training ground for all who come.
When you have a high priority in nurturing children and youth, what you are doing is providing future leaders to the church, but you're also saying, this is really important to us, and we want it to be a vibrant part of our congregation.
But where did it all begin? To answer that question, we have to go back 50 years. The year was 1967. Central Lutheran Church in Portland, Oregon agreed to finance a mission in the quiet rural community of Alderwood Manor, Washington. Eugene Anderson, a native of Minnesota and a graduate of Augsburg Theological Seminary, arrived in July and went to work, gathering a community to form the new church.
We moved from Bellingham, and we heard that there was a new mission church here, and we talked to Pastor Anderson, and it sounded like something for us.
On September 10th, 1967, ground was broken for the Gloria Dei facility. During construction, the people of Gloria Dei met in the gymnasium at Hazelwood Elementary.
Up until that time, I had never been at a church service that was not held in a church building. So that really brought home those words to the song, the church is not a building, the church is a people, and it was.
Gloria Dei was organized under the American Lutheran Church North Pacific District with 149 baptized members on December 10th, 1967. On April 21st, 1968, the facility was finished and dedicated. The people of Gloria Dei had a home of their own. By the end of 1973, Gloria Dei was a thriving, self-sustaining congregation and officially separated from the Board of American Missions. In 1976, Eugene Anderson resigned at pasture. A call letter was sent to J. Bernard Brettheim, a North Dakota native with experience serving at various churches throughout the nation. Pastor Brettheim answered the call to Gloria Dei and was installed on April 24, 1977.
So Pastor Brettheim would come and visit my mom, and I don't know how or what he said or did or talked about, and just out of the blue my mom said, I want to be baptized. And I thought, hallelujah. And so she was baptized when she was 86 years old, and I'll forever be thankful to Pastor Brettheim for that.
His hair always had to be perfectly combed. And we had one night that we spent in a shelter because it was just pouring down rain. In the morning, we all woke up before him. We finally yelled to get him to wake up, and he popped up out of the sleeping bag, and of course his hair was not in that perfect shape, and we all had cameras. None of us took the picture, but we all had cameras pointing at him, and he thought they were well documented.
By 1980, Gloria Dei had outgrown its facility and needed to expand. A building fund drive began and ground was broken. The education wing was dedicated on April 12, 1982. By 1986, the need for additional staff became apparent, and a letter of call was sent to Pastor Gary Rothenberger. Originally from South Dakota, Pastor Gary graduated from Wartburg Seminary. He was installed as a part-time associate pastor on October 26. He went full-time in September of 1987.
Answered the call to Gloria Dei because they were willing to risk, they were willing to give me a chance.
When you think about it, it's kind of ironic that Ben was from North Dakota, Gary was from South Dakota, I was from North Dakota, and I think that's probably why we work so well together.
My favorite pastor memory is actually my confirmation, because it was me, Nicole Gorley, James Rothenberger, Bethany Johnson, and Vicki Musgrave. And I was getting confirmed, and Pastor Gary called me Bethany Johnson in my, like, do you, whatever the confirmation speech is. Do you Bethany Johnson? I'm like, I'm Lindsay.
Wanting to fill a need in the greater community, Gloria Dei began a preschool daycare in the fall of 1988. Although the daycare closed in 1993, the preschool thrives to this day.
Let the little children come is a really critical part of church life. Having a school that families trust and bring their kids to and make recommendations to their neighbors about gives us an opportunity over the last 30+ years to integrate our community with a wider community in a really purposeful way.
We've had hundreds of families coming through the church. They might not be members of the congregation, but this is a church community for them, and it's been a safe place for their children to learn and to grow. I think if Gloria Dei weren't to exist tomorrow, that the preschool would probably be the greatest thing that they would miss.
Pastor Brettheim retired in 1989, and Gloria Dei voted to call Pastor Gary as lead pastor. During the late 1990s, Gloria Dei once again felt the need to expand. By the summer of 2000, construction was underway for the addition of a new sanctuary. The building project was completed and the building dedicated on December 10, 2000. In 2003, Jocelyn Carson, also a native of South Dakota, began a one-year internship with Gloria Dei. Her relationship with the Gloria Dei community made her an ideal candidate, and in 2005, Jocelyn was called as an associate pastor.
Having grown up in South Dakota was an asset that I had never considered an asset in ministry, but there were so many Dakota people at Gloria Dei that made me feel right at home pretty quickly. When I was ordained as a Lutheran pastor, the choir came down and sang, and the church was overflowing with loving people, and I remember Gloria Dei brought tons of food to share at the reception, and it was just probably one of the highlights of my life, and it wouldn't have been possible without the people of Gloria Dei.
In 2008, Pastor Jocelyn moved on. Gloria Dei began searching for another part-time pastor. A call was answered by Matthew Moss, who served as an associate pastor from 2010 to 2014. In 2013, Pastor Gary announced his retirement, and Gloria Dei once again set out to find a new lead pastor.
I feel blessed by the whole time I was here. I think that to be able to serve as a pastor here, I thought we accomplished a lot of really wonderful things together.
A letter of call was sent, and another Midwest pastor answered. A graduate of the Lutheran School of Theology at Chicago, Pastor Gail Rotland was installed at Gloria Dei on May 1st, 2014.
I answered the call to Gloria Dei primarily because of the description about this being an intergenerational congregation. There seemed to be a great deal of pride in multiple generations worshiping together, fellowshipping together, learning together, and I was really energized by that description.
Gail came up to Lutherwood, and so we talked her into going water skiing, which it didn't take a lot of talking into. I put the skis on and got, first time, boom, she's up water skiing, went around. We were all kind of really impressed with that. And then I think the more impressive thing is that she came out this last year, which was her second time, and she came up specifically to be there early enough to go with us at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Wanting to enhance and grow new ministries appealing to the changing generations, Gloria Dei sought leadership in the areas of children, youth, and family. On July 1st, 2015, Dustin Hammond returned to the Gloria Dei community as CYF director. Dustin had previously served Gloria Dei as a CYF intern in 2008.
I think Dustin has brought in some tremendous gifts to build up that group of youth, and it's been a lot of fun to see them grow as a group and as individuals.
The youth are a leading force here in Gloria Dei. They show up in great numbers to a lot of events. They have a desire to reach out to the community. Recently, they've spearheaded the homelessness kits. They want to learn about God, and they want to share what they know, and they have a lot to offer. And I think Gloria Dei allows them to be leaders and allows them to really come into who they are as a person and as a Christian.
The youth that I work with here, it's not just an activity that they do, you know, the church is part of their lives.
So the youth group at Gloria Dei is like, I feel like a really special place. Like we all are just like one big family and like brothers and sisters, and then like our youth leaders like Marquita and Jen and Jess and Breve and Amanda, like they're all like our mom and dads, and Dustin, they're all just like our mom and dads, and like we all like really like to like learn about God together, but we also really like to just like hang out and like color and stuff, just like big happy family.
We've always had such a wonderful youth group. Every youth group that comes through, we say, that's the best youth group. And always the youth group has talked with any generation. It's not just youth, like they don't want to associate with anybody else. And we've been so blessed with our youth.
If you had told me 10 years ago that my favorite activity at a future congregation would be the youth retreat, I think I would have fallen over laughing. I have really come to enjoy that time with the youth. We really have a tremendous group of young people, and it's a lot of fun for me to be real with them for a few days and to get to know them on a more personal level than I'm able to do on a Sunday morning.
I'm like most involved in like Gloria Deos, and I think that's like an awesome time for us youth to like share with like the whole church, and like I enjoy like serving everyone and like seeing everyone.
It's just like a big family meal, everybody coming together to enjoy carbs. It's a special event, you know, thrown on by our youth, and it's always very fun. Plus it's always on my birthday weekend, so growing up my mom would bring in a cake and stuff when I was still participating in serving.
Alderwood Manor is no longer the quiet rural town it once was. With so much change in the social and economic landscape, it begs the question, will this community, this family of Gloria Dei, continue for another 50 years?
Only God knows that answer, but I pray and hope so, and hope that it'll still be faith-centered.
I hope so. Like I'd like to be here for like the 100th anniversary and like so on.
I think the spirit of Gloria Dei will certainly be here in 50 years, in a different form perhaps, but as long as faith endures, I have the confidence that Gloria Dei will exist.
As long as we can get people to come in and see what we're about, I think there'll always be a Gloria Dei.
Gloria Dei will be around until God's work is finished.
The fullness of God's faithfulness to the people of this community abounds. So long as the people of God come together with faithful commitment to each other and to serving the Lord, the spirit of Gloria Dei family will continue in the hearts of the next generation of believers.